California cooking, here's what's happening on today's show. First, I'm reintroducing you to a spot specializing in the most amazing Neapolitan pizza that's open for takeout and delivery. Then I'm making a lamb sloppy joe that's super comforting right about now. And finally, Levi and I are getting in the kitchen to make pigs in a blanket, and all it takes are just 3 ingredients. First, I'm taking you back to Pizzana. Pizzana is open for takeout and delivery right now, and they're offering their regular menu, which includes their amazing Neapolitan pizzas, and they're also serving up some mouth-watering sandwiches. I loved hearing Chef Daniele Uditi's story of how he moved here from Italy to pursue the American dream. Take a look. Hi, Chef Daniele.
Hello, ciao.
Ciao, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm good, Pizzana. What a cute spot on Robertson.
Thank you.
It's small, but you said you like that it's small.
I like when people are cozy and they
Yeah.
can meet, like the table are not that far apart. At the end of the day, somebody ends up paying for the check of the other pizza people.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more European, you know,
Yeah.
but I love that in LA there is this kind of culture to this.
Yeah. You have such an interesting story. You had moved here from Naples.
Yes.
And you were working at a restaurant. Things weren't really going so well.
I found myself living in a van with
Yeah.
my brother. The main reason that we decided to come in this country is because we lost our mom. If we go home, we will regret, let's say, oh, we didn't even try. So.
Here we are. And it's such, it's the American dream, right?
It is.
You hear about when you came here to LA and you just so happened to make a pizza for a famous guy by the
Yes.
name of Chris O'Donnell,
Yes.
who's the actor. Chris wanted you to teach him
Yeah.
how to make pizza.
Yes, I was flipping pizza in the air in the backyard as these kids running around with soccer ball.
Oh my gosh.
And from Chris, I had the opportunity to meet other people. And
Candace Nelson being one of them.
Yes.
Now, if you don't know the name, that is the brains behind Sprinkles Cupcakes.
Yes.
And then how did it go from Candace saying, I love your pizza, to, hey, let's open up a pizza spot?
Chris was talking to Charles and Candice, like, so let's
Yeah.
meet and let's decide what we're gonna do. So we developed menu and then we open up Pizzana in Brentwood.
Now, 2019, you have a second location
Yes.
here in West Hollywood.
Yes.
Would we call this pizza here at Pizzana Neapolitan pizza?
We call it Neapolitan.
Neapolitan.
Neapolitan because it's based on my past working in Naples, but I applied a new technique. Like my family in Caserta, close to Naples, they own a bakery. So I used to make bread when I was 12 with my auntie.
Yeah.
So I brought the starter from my auntie's bakery here, refresh
The starter
it.
dough. It's 60-some years old, I heard.
64.
64 years old.
Some Valentine's Day.
Really? It has a
Yes.
birthday.
Yes, it has a birthday.
Oh,
It has a birthday.
so to people that don't understand, like, what do you mean the dough's been around since 19
Well, it's not the
for
dough.
60 years?
Well,
so what do
it's-
you mean?
It's not the
Explain.
dough. It's a starter. It's
Right.
like people use
Like yeast.
I don't use chemical yeast. I use like natural fermented yeast.
Chef, by
Yes.
the way, this fried artichoke smells so good. What's the name of the dish we're gonna make?
Carciofi arrostiti basically means roasted artichokes.
Okay.
What we're gonna do, these are artichokes hearts.
Okay.
We cooked in a little bit of water and vinegar so they
Yeah.
stay together. This one is a beautiful olive oil, just a little bit of salt and pepper. And then this one go in the oven.
Just a couple of minutes and look at that.
Yeah.
Sizzling.
They're all charred. And just put it in a bowl, add some dressing. This is just olive oil and lemon.
Yeah.
Smooth it around with a spoon.
That smells so good.
Some pine nuts.
Toasted.
Toasted pine nuts. There you go. And then we prep the plate. So it's just Parmigiano Reggiano on the plate. Then you place all the artichokes.
And this is so simple but so beautiful.
And then
Fried
take some salt.
artichokes.
And that's what we do. We always do one for them, right?
Look at this.
One for me.
Yep. Like little chips.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
They
thank
taste
you.
like little chips. Then
I could eat a bowl of those.
it's true.
No problem.
There you go.
Yum. Are you gonna join
Yeah, of course.
me in a taste?
It's lemony, tart, sweet for the artichoke tart.
Yeah.
And this Parmigiano soak just makes it to me.
Yum. Chef, we're gonna make the famous pizza.
Yes, we're gonna make one of those. It's called corbarina. See how the dough is? You can touch it.
It's so soft and
yeah. Pillowy.
soft. It's like I want to go to sleep on it.
Right?
Yes.
There you go. We're just gonna stretch, push all the air that we create in the crust. You just stretch
Look
it.
at that, like a pro.
There you go.
Daniele's showing off.
Done. Spoonful over here.
It looks so fresh.
It is.
Oh.
Some sliced cherry tomatoes.
Oh.
And that's basically the base of the pizza.
Okay.
We're gonna put all the ingredient after.
Okay.
Done.
Look at that. In it goes.
In the oven. There you go. Done. Now we're gonna take it. We're gonna slice it.
I've never been more.
There you go. You hear the crunch?
I heard it.
Look. Burrata, right? We're just gonna
Look at the creaminess. That is gorgeous. Okay, now the squash blossom.
squash blossom.
How pretty.
Yeah.
Now, these are just raw?
Just raw, but they're gonna be dressed with gremolata.
Okay, so in there you said you have olive oil,
Yeah, olive oil, oregano.
oregano.
Yeah. We're just gonna top it off. This is gonna cut through the richness of the burrata.
Yeah, that is too pretty to eat. Should we take it to the table?
Let's go.
So light, melts
good.
in your mouth.
It's really good.
Chef Daniele, thank you so much.
Thank you. We have a lot of work to do over here.
We do. We may need those friends to sit next to us.
There you go.
Thank you again.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Oh. Chef Daniele is so great and so passionate about pizza. Not only is Pizzana open for takeout and delivery, but Pizzana also has raised over $40,000 to feed emergency medical workers on front lines. So we thank him and his staff for that too. Coming up, Steve Kuzj takes us to a family-run barbecue spot serving up ribs, tri-tip, chicken, and more. Then it's our weekly recipe with Levi. We're making homemade pigs in a blanket. But first, I'm cooking up a delicious and comforting sloppy joe. That's coming up next. Sloppy joes is one of those recipes that makes me happy. It's warm, comforting, and it reminds me of my childhood. So here's my take on a sloppy joe with a modern twist. Levi happens to love ground lamb, which if you've had lamb chops, ground lamb has the same flavor. So if you love lamb, I think you'll just go crazy for ground lamb. I love to make a take on a sloppy joe with lamb where I put the ketchup and the tomato sauce, but I also add in some different kind of like Middle Eastern flavors. I add a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of cumin, some smoked paprika, garlic, onion, some pine nuts, and then I put it on a roll and I make a cucumber tzatziki sauce. So it's really yummy, and it's something that I actually probably make once a week because Levi will always eat it. So starting with the ground lamb, I'm gonna go back here and saute it up with some onion, and then we'll add the seasonings. So I'm browning up a quarter of a large onion, half of a small onion, and then I'm gonna add the lamb. I wanna get it into small pieces. And then some salt. We'll start with the salt, and then we'll add our other seasonings once we brown the meat a little. I don't want to add garlic until it's almost cooked through because I don't want the garlic to burn. Because garlic gets kind of bitter if it burns. Small dice. Smoked paprika, one of my favorites. And because it's smoked paprika, it has a little bit of a smokiness too, but not spicy at all. We're gonna add a healthy tablespoon of the smoked paprika. Cumin, another warm, lovely spice that I put in a lot of dishes with chicken or meat or lamb. And I'll add my garlic. And then cinnamon. It goes so well in those Mediterranean and kind of Middle Eastern flavors when you add a little bit of cinnamon. You want to be sparing because it could easily overwhelm it. I would start with maybe 1/4 teaspoon. Sprinkling of oregano. And then I'm gonna add some pine nuts. And I wanna toast up the pine nuts as I'm still cooking up the meat. So I would say maybe 2 tablespoons of pine nuts. And here's what we want. Everything's getting brown, and that's where the flavor comes out. To give it that sloppy Joe kind of feel, I'm gonna add a good amount of ketchup. That was probably 2 tablespoons. And then some tomato sauce to give it this saucy consistency, and some Worcestershire. A few good dashes of that. And then you want to scrape up all those bits. And I would turn it down and just let it simmer on the stove for a minute. On to my topping for my lamb sloppy joe. You know, tzatziki, a lot of times it's shaved cucumber. You get it at Greek restaurants. It's very dill and garlic and lemony. It's so delicious. I've made it a little different where I just slice the cucumber to make it easier. You take your hothouse cucumber, Persian cucumber, any of those work, and you slice it up into relatively thin slices. You don't want them too chunky because again, it's gonna be on our sloppy joe. So you almost want it, I think the size you'd think of like a pickle. So to our cucumbers, I'm gonna add some salt, a spoonful of Greek yogurt, and a little spoonful of sour cream. And then we're gonna stir up our cucumbers. And basically you just want to add enough yogurt and sour cream until it's covering all of the cucumbers. And then to that, I'm going to do garlic powder. It's not as strong, but it still gives you the garlicky flavor. Some lemon. And then to this is fresh dill. Add our dill. Okay, we're going to assemble our lamb sloppy joe. So we've got a toasted brioche bun. Pile it up. You've got all the spices, the garlic, the onions, the pine nuts. On top, you add the creamy, dill, garlicky cucumber salad. Our lamb sloppy joe. That's a mess. That's when you're gonna have to change your shirt after you eat that one. This is gonna be messy. Let me get a napkin, because I just feel I'll have it on standby.
I have stuff in my face, don't I?
Mmm. What a great sandwich. This is good. I hope you try it. And just have lots of napkins on standby. That sloppy joe was so satisfying, and you can totally sub out lamb for ground beef. Coming up, their secret is their homemade barbecue sauce. Steve Kuzj takes us to Rib Ranch BBQ. Then Levi and I are back in the kitchen making homemade pigs in a blanket. That's coming up next. When Steve Kuzj is in the mood for ribs, he goes straight to Rib Ranch BBQ. And the story behind this family-run business is so sweet. Take a look.
Do I have a treat for you today, Jess? Let me tell you, if you're ever in the Valley and you like barbecue, maybe not just like barbecue, if you love barbecue, Woodland Hills Rib Ranch, this is the place to come. So one of the things I love about the Rib Ranch, Mike, is not just the food, but also the history behind the food.
Well, the restaurant started back in 1970. It was started by identical twins, Bernie and Lenny Kahn. And my father said back in 1972, when I was 17 years old, why don't you go down and see if you can get a job? And I started washing dishes. And in the summer of 1975, they had a couple of picnic tables outside. So they decided to hire their first waitress here. Well, that first waitress, Jerry, became my wife. We've been together for almost 42 years now. So my wife and I bought the restaurant back in 1991. We had 3 daughters together. All 3 of them have worked here. and Nicole's going to take over the restaurant in about a year. And then the nice thing is I've got 7 wonderful grandchildren. The oldest is 8. I really look forward to the time when they can come here and work with their parents and also work with me too.
All right, Mike, so we're in the kitchen. This is where the magic happens. What is it that keeps people coming back to the Rib Ranch?
It's our friendly staff, the history of being a family restaurant, and it's our barbecue sauce. After 50 years almost, we go through about 70 gallons a week. So what we do is we make a base out of it.
You can definitely smell all like the scents and the peppers
Oh,
and the
yeah.
spices in there.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot here, Mike. Where do we begin?
Pork baby back rib.
Let's dig in. And so you know it's a good rib when it just falls off the bone.
It's sweet on the front side, and then after a little while, you get a little kick on the back side.
The first time I ever had beef ribs, I was blown away. I'm like, it's like a pork rib, but as you can see, it's like 5 times the size. So you feel like a caveman when you're sitting here and just, oh, it's a terrific flavor. It's like you're almost biting into a burger because it's that big of a bite. You know, almost every restaurant in existence, Mike, as you know, has some kind of chicken. Tell me about yours. What sets this apart?
You know, we buy real big, extra plump, juicy chickens, and then we oven roast it for just the right amount of time so it gets nice and moist but not dried out, and add our homemade barbecue sauce. If you like meat, we're a good place to stop by.
Well, I hope that looked as good as it tasted, Jess, because let me tell you, that was absolutely amazing. Rib Ranch BBQ here in Woodland Hills is awesome. Now it's time for this little piggy to mosey on home. See ya.
Steve, that looks so good. And Rib Ranch BBQ is open for takeout and delivery. Plus, it's always great to support a small business if you can. Now on to my recipe with Levi. I haven't been to the store in 6 days, so all I had was frozen pie dough and hot dogs. So, pigs in a blanket it is. Take a look. Hi, Levi.
And to crack it.
At least crack it into the bowl, because we do need an egg, okay? Now use 2 hands to split it. Okay, you know what? It worked. No shell. Here's a fork, so we're gonna mix that up. Well, we did get a little bit there on the board. Levi, what are we gonna make today? What are these?
Hot dogs.
Levi loves hot dogs, and so do I. But you know what? We thought about pigs in a blanket the other day, and so I did it with a tortilla.
Wow.
But I happen to have some pie dough in the freezer. So I'm gonna try to make pigs in the blanket using our store-bought pie dough. As you mix up our egg, we're gonna roll out our pie dough a little so it's nice and even. Hands up, or sleeves up, just a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick. Okay, we have clean hands, of course, right? And now, our pie dough. So can you roll it out for me? And then these are in the freezer, but I put it in the fridge last night, so they just thaw out in the fridge. Okay, my little baker. This is nice. This is better than anything I could do. So I want to just take a paper towel and dry off our hot dogs so they're nice and dry.
I know what to do.
Wait.
I know what we're doing.
I know, you're totally on it. So let me see if,
Hey, you almost not.
okay, oh, you know what? Watch the fingers. I just realized, I think
Cut it in half.
we can cut it. We don't need all that. All right. So let's roll it out this way, babe. Can you roll it this way for me? Mix our egg, and this will be our glue. So put it right there like you're painting. Yep, the whole way down. Go ahead and get a little bit more. Great, and then we roll it and it sticks. Now, can you brush the outside? Beautiful. So brush the outside with egg. Here. And then when you're done, Levi, will you sprinkle it with sesame seeds?
I got it on me.
It's okay. Here's your towel.
That is what happens when you cut.
Exactly. You get a little dirty. Done. Look at this beauty. Okay, now I'm gonna sprinkle on. if you like sesame seeds. Okay, now mommy's gonna do a few with cheese. So Levi, I'm gonna put these in the oven. 375. I'll check them in about 15 minutes. Okay, Levi, here's your tray. Here's your little pieces, and you can make them whatever you want. Here's your egg. Do you want some cinnamon sugar? Okay, Levi, go ahead, bake. We've got some chocolate chips. Do you want to roll some chocolate chips in there?
Yeah. Well, I don't like chocolate too much.
Since when?
I
Oh,
stopped eating chocolate.
what are you into now?
Gummies. Gummy bear.
Okay, there's one thing. I'm putting it in the oven and see how our treats are gonna turn out. Look, here's your concoctions. Is that the one that had chocolate in the middle? Ooh! Oh my goodness, look. Actually, Levi, that's really good. Now look at these beauties. Look, they look like they're fancy little treats. You have your hands full. Yummy. That one was good. Okay, that's what I get for letting him have sweets first. He left me. He abandoned our little pigs in a blanket. But I can't wait to dig in. So these, no cheese. These have cheese. And I might just do one a cut like that. Levi, do you want to come try these?
No.
They're really good. The pie crust is flaky. The hot dog is juicy. And these are the perfect thing to freeze and just pull out whenever you need a little snack. He totally left me hanging with the pigs in a blanket because he had a little too much of his sweet treat, but those were actually really good. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
The cheese one.
Levi, you have a mustache and a beard.
Cheese! No, a real one.